Hi, this is Ben Jealous here on DryerBuzz on WAOK saying please get out and vote.
Call us at 404-892-2703 on News and Talk 1380 WAOK.
All right, guys, we're back with DryerBuzz on WAOK. Do you have that kind of courage to go before the sharks and talk about your business? Even I've gone to a number of, they're now calling them co-working, and you get to go in with all these mentors and pitch. Usually at every conference now, there's an opportunity to pitch your business. But let's talk about being stubborn. It's like once you, because every now and then you'll see somebody go in there and say, well, hey, this is my product. This is how I do it. And they're kind of stubborn. It's like, well, maybe you ought to try this.
Stubborn. They're angry. They're angry that you said anything to them. And I understand that. Imagine you've birthed this idea. You think it's awesome. Your mama said it's great. Your friend said it's wonderful.
Right.
You put your little money into it.
And people like Jasmine, the co-conspirators, like, that's not what you should be doing.
You know, I have a really gentle touch. What I try to do is celebrate what is good about what you're doing. Okay. And then I just try to highlight some things. I'm really gentle. I give suggestions. You know what I mean? Like, I don't say what's wrong.
Give us a scenario.
I had one client who, oh gosh, you guys may know her. I can't. Okay, how do I do this? Her idea was good, but her verbiage was outdated. Right? So how do you tell somebody that everything that you're saying to me sounds good, but it's really whack because you're using the kind of language that makes me feel, you know what I mean? So telling people something like that's so personal. She was a writer, you know what I mean? And I'm telling you that this doesn't translate well. So that's why I understand when people are very, very upset. But here's the thing. If you want to move forward, I mean, you don't have to take everyone's opinion. What I'm giving you really is just my opinion. But I do think you should at least have the ability to, you know, kind of roll it around in your head. Does
that give you the idea that maybe this business owner is not necessarily keeping up with their industry?
Oh, absolutely. And if you don't keep up with the times, you're going to find yourself behind. And you have to be willing. And again, what we were talking about, like just right now, you know, there's a shift in our country. There's a shift in, you know, we all have to be ready to fit in, you know, get in where we fit in, basically. So if you're coming to an expert or coming to someone that's going to consult with you, you have to have your listening ears on it. Because if you don't, that means that you're not ready to move forward. And sometimes,
what are some of the top industries? Because I know you have to run to a meeting, but what are some of the top industries that women in business, families in business, black-owned business, what are some of the top industries that people can easily get into right now? I'm a big champion of food industry. The food, it ain't going nowhere. We all still have to eat, you know. And I think there are a lot of talented people. Do I think everybody should own a restaurant? No, I don't. Do I think the pies that you make are really great and you should slap a label on it? I don't know if anybody's familiar with the King of Pops here in Atlanta. Right.
When he started, it was in a tiny little kitchen on Irwin Street with another client of mine. This kid was in there making popsicles, and then he would go out and roll it out to this corner gas station. Now he's in Whole Foods. I mean, he's if you go to any restaurant up and down Howell Mill, King of Pops sold here.
And when you see the food people on Shark Tank, is like is it so easy now to get in a store? Is that easy?
No,
now?
it isn't easy, and I don't want to. You know, not only do you have to have a good product, there's standards and regulations that you have to go through. To get into Whole Foods is a big deal. It's a lot. It's not easy, but that's not what we're here. If it was easy, everybody would do it. But if you have a great, especially in a city like Atlanta, we really do like to support local businesses here. So yeah, that's really one of my top ones. I love food industry. I think that it's something that we all, you know, especially we're moving into healthy and more organic ways of eating things. We are all, you know, looking for, you know, different things. But I think, you know, that's pretty my favorite one.
We were talking about supply chain. Is it easy when you think about the food industry and getting into the supply chain? Doesn't mean you have to have the whole product. No. Just a part of it.
A component of the product. You know, there's a lot of people that we get spices. I get a curry spice shipped in from a guy in Miami because his curry's really great. We don't do some of our in-house desserts. There's a guy who makes cheesecakes. They're amazing. Okay, like that's not our specialty.
I don't like to bake, but I can come up with a banging pie crust.
Well, you know what you do? You go find your friend who does like to bake, get her to do it, and you're in business together. You hit on a great thing. Do what you're good at. Like the lady who just wants to make the pretzels. She just want to make pretzels.
Just want to make pretzels.
She
don't want to talk business. She don't want to know about profit and loss.
She needs to go find a young person at her church and say, listen, you're a great salesperson. I know that this corner store down here may like Annie Ann's, whatever, pretzel. That's how you make it work for you. Everybody isn't a salesperson. Everybody shouldn't be baking either. Let's not encourage everybody to bake.
and don't feel bad about it. Just knowing your strengths and weaknesses. And in a time like this, there's a time to make money.
It is a time to make money, and we need to spend money and spend it in our community. Spend it. I'm not just a proponent of. I just small businesses. Period. Black, white, whatever it is. I just think that local businesses. Let's do that, and let's make an effort to do that.
Well, thank you so much, Jasmine, for giving us some more of your time.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
We always look forward to talking with you.
Thank you for having me. I'll see you guys soon, hopefully.
Okay.
Oh, wait, and before I go, make sure everybody comes over to Stir It Up, 84 12th Street. Great Caribbean food. We also have a lounge downstairs called the Artist Inn, and we are doing an amazing Caribbean carnival for New Year's Eve. It's going to be ridiculous. We're going to do 2 floors of just brilliant music, Caribbean food. It's just going to be like a street carnival indoors. So New Year's Eve, come and check us out.
And I bet you we have some great weather for that as well. Oh my God, awesome. All right, that's Jasmine Ali, co-conspirators. Did we get your website right before you go? Your website
right now.
Yeah.
It's www.thecoconspirators.com.
All right, great business advice, y'all. Plus, she just does such a great job. Okay, we're going to continue. Let's go ahead and talk with Flavor. Thank you so much, Flavor, for calling in and supporting the show.
God bless you, Princess Yolanda Lattimore, DryerBuzz, and the other queens in the studio.
Thank you. What's going on, Flavor?
Well, I wanted to expound on what y'all was talking about, dealing with where do we go from here and all the benefits that we should receive when the smoke clears behind all the protests by whatever name they're going by. I agree, like y'all do, when this thing is over, at least half of all the money.
Mm-hmm. What money though? That's the problem. And I don't know, because sometimes people want to say, it's selfish of us when we try to have the money talk in the middle of the protest. But the thing about it is, I think that people don't understand is you spend a lot of money protesting, especially when it comes time to rolling. DC ain't got no problem with you rolling in to do a march because you're going to fill up the mall. All the gas stations are going to make money. The hotels for those who are going to stay over. The bus companies, the permits, all of that. There's a lot of money to be spent. It's just that we won't spend it with us.
Absolutely. And then in the end, nothing changes. And so that's the difference in this. We're not just going to get body cameras, but you can see in New York, they're already talking about retraining and all of this.
But speaking of body cameras, that in itself is a major contract that can set a family up for life.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And who's going to get the contracts?
Exactly.
Are we going to get them? You see what I'm saying? We need to lobby for that. Now, Al Sharpton said on live TV on CNN that he was going to take them pictures up there and they was going to be dealing with boycotts. Mm-hmm. Now, like I was about to say, when this is over, Yolanda, with your help and everybody's, at least 50% of all the money that these preachers we put in these black churches, at least 50% of that money should go in a black-owned bank, at least. And they should have no problem, or we should empty them churches, because I don't see nothing they doing. It's just like you saying, quiet now. And you just can't let back and let the millennium take over literally, because that was the problem in the beginning. We can't be scared of them. We got to guide our children. Somebody did the analogy of when God had to get rid of Moses so Aaron could take over. No, when Moses come back, they was twerking and having rims and having sex with it. No. We got to do what we're supposed to be doing about people. We can't do it without God. We can't do it without love. And this is the catalyst right now.
I don't think we can do it without money, and I don't want to feel guilty. Thanks so much, Flavor, for calling in. I don't want to feel guilty about talking about money and business, because there is an economic, because I see the press releases when they come out and everybody wants to talk about, we went to this city and went to that city and we spent $100 million and we made sure the minorities, got a cut. And this is us talking about us giving the minorities a cut. But we are the minority. Why can't we be a majority to each other? That's just a simple part of the process. When we come back, Ebony Porter-Ike is still here with me. We're going to talk about how to create a buzz in a time such as this for your business, when people are saying shop local, shop black, shop women owned. How do you get the message out there that you exist on DryerBuzz on WAOK?
News and Talk 1380, WAOK.
WAOK Atlanta, WVEE HD3, News and Talk 1380, WAOK.
Call us at 404-892-2703 on News and Talk 1380, WAOK.
Go now to DryerBuzz.com and follow @DryerBuzz on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. It's all about the buzz on News and Talk 1380, WAOK.
DryerBuzz on WAOK, the first Sunday. So we always want to check in and see how everybody's doing on the business tip, how to buzz in business, how to win in business. We were trying to say go for broke, but a lot of people don't know the history, and so they don't know the connotation behind go for broke, and how it ties into World War II. One of the great regiment, that was their motto, go for broke. Means put it all in, give it your all. But we decided to go with, what did we decide to go? Buzz in business. Yeah, Buzz in Business. That's going to be the first Sunday of the show. As you know, the second Sunday of the show is always Language of Men. So the fellas will be back in next week, and then followed up behind it. Not to give the ladies the final word, but after Language with Men, we do Buzz to My Sister, Great Debate with Women, and the language, we might as well call it the Language of Women. And then the fourth Sunday, we do Arts and Culture and Fitness. And then, of course, fifth Sunday is always dedicated to health, because that ain't something everybody want to talk about all the time. But we still try to get into health. So a nice, well-rounded calendar of shows on your Sunday. And we have Ebony Porter-Ike in with us. You do PR, but what you have in your bio is certified closer.
Certified deal closer.
Certified deal closer. So I need to be working with her this week, because I need to close all my deals for 2015. Mm-hmm. And see, I don't just invite people in just to do great interviews. I be trying to get that advice on the free tip. But no, seriously though, here is this the time? How did you get to where you are? Let's just talk about that, because I mean, your client list is absolutely amazing. They're always prepped and ready to create buzz. So how did you get started and become that expert?
Well, I started off several years ago in corporate America, mergers and acquisitions and business development. And so from that, I was able to obtain a lot of knowledge as to what it requires to have a successful business. I took that knowledge, and then I started moving towards more of my passion, which was fashion and public relations, marketing, things of that nature. And I created a company by the name of The Good Life and More, which was Glam. I did that, and I actually worked full time still in corporate America for a number of years. Did that, and then decided to branch off and go full speed and start my own PR marketing and branding firm. It's been very, very, very successful for me. And I think one of the things that has done me well is understanding the business dynamics. Most people in public relations, their only focus is making the buzz, getting visibility for their clients. But my goal is to get visibility for the clients that will in turn increase the revenue earned for the client. So that goes back to my business aspect and being able to do some of the business consultation that I do with my clients. So at the end of the day, I'm very selective about my clients. So it's not just about will they select me, but will I select them as well? So that's why you see the type of client base that I bring in, because I'm looking to make sure that the client is, not only am I building their brand, but are they also building my brand as well?
Mm-hmm. A lot of questions that people have, and we've got Daryl. If I'm going to grab you, Daryl, in just a second, but a lot of questions that people ask me about here, because a lot of times they feel like they can come direct to the media source, and a lot of times I feel like they're not ready, they're not prepped. They got great conversation online on social media, bring them in the radio interview, and they just like dead air. Mm-hmm. What does it take to start a relationship? And people always want to know, well, how much does it cost? What does it take to start a relationship to gain PR rep or representation?
So it all depends on the type of PR you go for, right? Because there are the large PR firms, and then there's the smaller boutique firms. Depends on where you are, what type of budget you have. The great things about the large PR firms, a lot of times they have large reach, but many times you will be a small fry and a big fish, so you may not get that individualized attention that you would get with some of the boutique firms. But usually you can expect PR rates to start anywhere from $1,000 a month up to $10,000 a month. It depends. You have some PR representatives that are exclusive. So let's say a Michael Jordan, for instance, he would not be sharing you as a PR representative with other clients. So, you know, Beyonce or things, they have exclusive rights with that person. So you have to pay for exclusive rights. Okay. But then if you are a boutique PR firm that have multiple clients, you have different retainer fees that you may charge for
now,
that.
explain the retainer fees, because you said like 1,000, just throwing out numbers.
And that's just
guys.
starting out.
Yeah, just starting out. So when you say retainer, like how is that? I think what gets lost on the novice entrepreneur or somebody who just really wants to create some buzz is understanding the retainer fee and how it's billed. How, if I give you $1,000 a month, what's the expectation? What's in that? So
the expectation from that is that you should have a complete package created and ready to go to media. So the media should be biting at you. You should be creating the buzz so that people are interested. People understand your name. Some people think that you can hire a PR firm and they're going to make your business successful. I can't make a bad business model successful. Okay, I can get a lot of buzz about it. People will know all about it, but that doesn't mean that your business is going to be successful as a bad business model. So those are some of the things, and actually being open to listening to, okay, you need a new website. You know, people don't realize that that's very important. Your marketing material, your EPKs, and again, building the right relationships with the right people, putting them in the right situations, in the right rooms, building the social media buzz, building the, building a strong Instagram.
Do people
profile.
often overlook the fact that it is about relationships?
They do, and what people don't realize is public relations is, I would say, 90% relationships. Right. So when you're looking to hire a publicist, you need to be looking for somebody who has those relationships. If you talk to a publicist and they can't get you those radio interviews, they can't get you on TV, they can't pick up the phone and make that call, if they can't speak. You know, I was sitting here talking with Jasmine before we came in here, and, you know, her resume is extensive. And in that time, I pitched to her 3 clients while we were sitting in there. We're going to follow back up afterwards.
Because you get a pitch in.
Oh, I'm going to get a pitch in. Certified deal closer. Right. And so my goal is, my clients are hiring me to close those deals for them, right? If I can't close those deals, why are you hiring me?
All right, well, let's take Daryl's question. Daryl, thank you so much for calling and supporting the show. What's your comment or question?
I think our young people, I kind of agree with Fred on this go around, but I think they need to have something in writing. If we march and protest up and down the street every week, but I think that they need to hold the governor, the mayor, or the president. You got to have something in writing. That something's going to change. Either somebody's going to sign off on some change in the bill, but that's the only way you're going to get something did. You got to have something in writing that they're going to make some changes. Other than that, we just going around in circles. Right.
Thank you so much for calling with that. And people are calling and still because we were talking about the protest earlier, and we were trying to figure out, what are the demands, what's going to happen. The president is speaking tomorrow via BET. That's big. That's big. That means that he wants to speak direct to that audience. But, is he going to be speaking direct to that audience via worrying about his critics like he always does? Let me not talk about President Barack Obama. But that's just my take. I'm just one voter, with 6 votes in my house that I influence. But anyway, you're listening to DryerBuzz on WAOK. Ebony Porter-Ike is still with us, and we're going to do another segment with her taking more of your questions, 404-892-2703. And you're listening to DryerBuzz on WAOK.
Hi, this is Fontaine Lewis from Jazz and Jokes Atlanta. If I'm not hosting an event, I'm looking for DryerBuzz to see what's happening in the streets of Atlanta on News Talk 1380 WAOK.
Call us at 404-892-2703 on News and Talk 1380 WAOK.
#HairSheBuzz. Get the buzz behind the buzz with Yolanda Lattimore with DryerBuzz on News and Talk 1380 WAOK.
Call us at 404-892-2703 on News and Talk 1380 WAOK.
You're back with DryerBuzz on WAOK. I mean, we keep saying we're gonna give them a piece of what happens in between breaks because the conversation gets it's just off the chain. The conversation is off the chain. I mean, we're talking about some of everything. All right, we are talking about creating buzz in business. We are talking about in climates like these, how to change it up. You know, I mean, think about it. In wartime, what did we do? In wartime, every factory in America became a factory that was making missiles and bullets and armory. I mean, we're at that point now where you might have to take a shift in your business. The profitability of your business, the legacy of your family might be, I might need to go home and not blog tomorrow. You know, I might need to move it to another level because we are in a shift. Let's go ahead and talk with, as you said, Dr. Marilyn Johnson. Hi, Dr. Johnson. How are you?
Hey, Yolanda. How you doing?
Is that Sunday dinner you cooking, throwing down?
Yes, yes. Actually, what it is that when you were speaking about the point that you have to change things, I'm going to have to go in the bathroom so the dog won't bark. But you guess what I'm doing? Okay. I am making I'm making Kwanzaa cones, and I'm making pine cone Christmas ornaments that I picked up the pine cones in the yard. I found out on Walmart, pine cones are selling for $5 to $10 a little small bag.
Let me tell you, I tell a girlfriend that every year because part of the punishment for her kids is that they have to go out and get the pine cones. I was like, girl, you need to go online and see how much they sell these pine cones for.
And they had them at LL Bean for $43 for like 2 or 3 of them. So I am in here having pine cone heaven. But you know, I admire you so much, and I've been listening all the time, and I wanted to call in because if anyone has changed their business and grown their business over the years, it's you with that blogging, and now look at you having your own show. So
awesome.
You're a testament to that. But I do want to let people know, yay.
And you're doing the same thing with, what is it, 49 and Fabulous?
49 Days to Fabulous. I have a location now, and I'm offering a special. People can come and get their facial. We're going to do 2 facials, only $40, which is cheaper than most people, and I am very qualified. They can go to my site and see. But it is Live Your Dream in 2015, so awesome. It's 2 for 1, and the facials will be $20.15.
Awesome. And where's the location?
2411A Memorial Drive.
Awesome. And so now, as far as the new, wait a minute, for holidays, are you offering a gift certificate?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Well, go right now and put the information on my Facebook page, and we'll get it shared out for you. And thank you so much for calling and supporting the show.
You know it.
All right. And see, that was one of the things, too, that came out of the Black Friday is like, you know, the movement came not to shop. But I put out there, don't just black out, you know, like shop black, or I try to encourage businesses to have gift certificates. You know, now you can go online and you can order the gift cards, your own. You can, everything that large corporations are doing, the entrepreneur can do.
Sure can. You can have your own app. Everything.
Right, and that's the way for us because people are really concerned about, if we shop black, if we do this, now how do we track it? Buying the gift certificate. When you purchase a gift certificate, that turns into a currency. We can have our own gift certificate. Well, you know, if we can get people collectively to come together and not worry about who's gonna get what share of the money. But we could have, and probably still could, come out with a collective gift certificate. So that and you can put it on an affiliate program. I did it a couple of years ago. Maybe 5 years ago. We did a collective website. We did a collective gift certificate, and we're able to track. You sell the gift certificates. I sell the gift. We get a percentage of what's sold on the gift certificate. Plus, you're going to make money from people using the gift certificate in your store. I mean, there's a number of ways to really track our economics right now. Instead of running around, I tell people now, stop saying it out loud that we got $1.4 trillion to spend, because that whole buying power, we miss. It's not power until you use it. That's right. Within each other.
That's right. And when you're not reinvesting it back into yourself, into your businesses and so forth. I mean, what's unfortunate was, you know, everyone was saying, you know, let's boycott Black Friday, and then I saw a line of individuals waiting for the new Jordans that were coming out.
Don't miss the Jordans.
Yeah, I mean,
and I'm not mad at them, but at the time, because here's the thing that like I remember I said it earlier, we keep people in the 101 class. We don't graduate them because get in that line, wait for Jordan, because I would be out there selling you something to drink. The supply chain.
Some now laters, candy.
Look, there's a young guy started a pawn shop for sneakers. Go ahead and get in that line and buy your Jordans, because I know come January 1st you're gonna want to pawn those Jordans. Right? I mean, get in the supply chain, people.
But, Yolanda, that comes from, and, this may sound cliche, but that comes from the home. I mean, the reality of it is the mindset that you're talking about isn't something that is taught in today's classroom. So you are taught in today's classroom to be an employee. Everything that I've learned about entrepreneurship came from the home.
Really?
Yeah, my father was an entrepreneur. My grandfather was an entrepreneur. All of my uncles.
So when you went to corporate America, they were like, Ebony, you crazy.
Well, they actually looked at me and said, okay, she's going off and she's doing, she's bright, she's doing this and that. But they also knew that I was going to take that information that I learned from corporate America and how can I go back and reestablish? Because I've always, let me just say this, I've always been an entrepreneur since I was 12. So even once I graduated from college and graduated from grad school and went into corporate, I've always had my own something else.
Okay. So, in speaking of that, now let's tell people how to create buzz. Even though I wrote the book on buzz, it's called 27 Answers to Create Buzz, and you can get that at DryerBuzz.com. But let's really talk about, because I'm on the end, I'm on the media side of it. I see them after they got it all together. You guys work with them. They got it all together. Now there's a great story there. But how do you take a business or an entrepreneur or somebody with passion and find or fine tune their story?
The first thing you have to understand is, what is the overall goal and mission statement for your business? And if people can't quickly articulate that, that's a problem. Because if you can't do that, then the media won't know how to place you, right? So really got to quickly understand what is it that you're offering, what is the product. After you've done that, you must have a clean and crisp presence, if it's from websites, if it's from social media or whatever, because that's your window. It has to be clean, it has to be crisp, and it needs to also reflect back to your overall mission statement. Your website or your social media can't be a whole lot of twerking shots, and then you're talking about I'm a life coach, right?
Like the protesters right now. It's like for the last month, your Instagram is all these die-ins, but then I keep scrolling like, what?
I call them bipolar social media people. They're bipolar.
Okay.
One moment you want to be a business expert, the next moment you want to twerk. Who's going to take your business seriously? So you have to make sure that you are consistent in that. And then from that perspective, you have to engage. Some people want to be Beyonce and Michael Jackson already and not engage back and forth with their followers. That's the biggest mistake that you can have. You have to engage and keep that conversation going so that people will tag and repost and get more people to know who you are, because the key thing today, if you have a business and you're not utilizing social media, you're not going to be successful. Social media right now is one of the most powerful mechanisms out here for small business owners. Unfortunately, Facebook is supposed to be making some changes to that in the new year, which is they're going to start charging people to have their content come to the top, which is going to impact a lot of small business owners who can't afford that.
I'll tell you, that was part of our advice this year in the book, was to pay Facebook. And we ran a couple of campaigns, and it was there. We were able to laser in on the audience. That's the only thing I can tell you about Facebook. You can laser in, but then there was these reports that came out where if I tell Facebook, I want, you don't do the one that gets you the likes. You got to make sure that you don't do just a general campaign. You really have to put in the right tags. You got to put in the right audience so that you can really laser in on that. But at the same time, if you're going to do that, you might as well bring the customer into an intimate space, going back to your own website.
And let's talk about the likes a little bit.
Okay.
One of the things that irked me the most is individuals buying these followers and buying likes, because at the end of the day, one of the things I talk to my clients about, and I continuously, if your followers are not monetizing your business,
Engage, meaning
engaging
making
and
money.
making money, not just saying, "Oh, you're cute. I like that picture." If they're not turning around and spending money on your product and services, you're wasting your time. The only people who should be on Facebook and social media doing that, you should be 17 or below. If you're in high school or whatever playing, but if you're a grown person on Facebook and social media, you need to be monetizing yourself, and so. Those things are very, very important. So, if you're on Facebook, don't spend the money to get the likes.
Right.
You need to spend the money to get the client back to your site or on to your website. And you can hire some very capable website developers that know how to make your Facebook page look and act like a website, and it will take you directly to your website if you maneuver it right. It's very important. One of the things I'll tell you, you have to have some cash to start your business and do it properly. You don't have to have a lot, but you want to do it the right way in order to make sure that your business is not seen as fly by night.
All right, when we come back, we're gonna wrap up, but just throw it out there, like, what's the least amount of money you can really start a business or just get rolling with?
I would say $200.
When we come back, we're going to tell you what you can do with. You got $200. I know you got $200. I know you got it. And y'all can talk about it over Christmas dinner, what business your family is going to be in next year. Ebony Porter-Ike is going to tell us how to do that when we come back on the other side of the break. DryerBuzz on WAOK.
Go now to DryerBuzz.com and follow @DryerBuzz on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. It's all about the buzz on News and Talk 1380 WAOK. Breaking news. Get DryerBuzz on SoundCloud and YouTube to hear snippets from the show. It's all about the buzz with DryerBuzz on News and Talk 1380 WAOK.
Call us at 404-892-2703 on News and Talk 1380 WAOK.
All right, we're still in a great debate on DryerBuzz on WAOK. I'm Yolanda Lattimore. And going along with the show, you should be at DryerBuzz.com because that's where we're going to load all those snippets. What is it, SoundCloud and the YouTube and all that. Please go to DryerBuzz, and I will make sure to put that information out there because a lot of times I have to listen back to the show. We enjoy listening back because it's a lot of good information. And this is where we are every Sunday from 4 to 7. So tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to share a friend to like a friend. Don't buy the likes. I need those organic likes because I need y'all to be listening and engaged in the show. And of course, we're still taking any business questions. If you still want to give some feedback on the protest, because we're looking at the protest and the climate of today, trying to figure out how to get in the supply chain. And so we're taking calls still at 404-892-2703. We try to engage in social media while we're on. A lot of times I answer some questions afterwards. So if you use the hashtag DryerBuzz on WAOK, then we can get to some of those too. I did want to shout out a few people. I had a number of notifications on here, and I'm sorry, I don't know what I did with them. I got to learn how to get back to my notifications on let me see if I can scroll down right quick. But before we went to break, I asked Ebony because she said that one of the things, she's a certified deal closer. Okay. And when I saw that, I was like, that resonates. I need some deal closures for 2015. I need some deals closed for 2015. And before we went to break, I asked her, throw out a number, because she said people could start a business on a low budget, and we threw out the number $200. And so what is it that people can really do? Seriously, that could probably change their life, make ends meet, help you make ends meet, make some revenue, a profit from a passion. But taking $200, what do you think they could do?
Well, for one, you can do a multi-level marketing. You can go out there and research. Some of them start a little bit more, some are less, but you can go out there, and I would definitely recommend someone who's new to business to actually try their hand at it. Multi-level marketing teaches you some of the aspects of running a successful business, especially with the sales avenue of it. The other piece of it, we talked about blogging. You can set your own blog site up. It will take a minute for you to be able to get the number of viewers so that you can get your sponsor dollars and so forth in. But that's also another low cost. If you're good at writing, you can write your own book, right? And then potentially have it as an ebook versus hardback publishing.
And one of the things too, I tell people too, and talk about being stubborn and not realizing the change in the market is like getting back into web design. I need to, and web design is easier now, but that's been something that's been calling to me to get back into it because I am the webmaster, I call it web mistress for DryerBuzz. So I've been thinking about, it's been pulling at me to get back into it because so many people want to start blogs now. So for $200, y'all call me up. I'll get your blog up tomorrow.
Yep. Yep. Even graphic artists, if you're a graphic artist and creating flyers and so forth for people, that's a business.
That is a business and a half because I'm all the time looking for flyers, and a lot of time people will come to me. They want to create buzz for an event or even for themselves because they want to become a household name, and the graphics are just not on point. And you see the Instagram. I mean, first and foremost, you at least got to have something I can share on Instagram. And Mark Cooper with Falcoholics, you guys have got an excellent. I mean, graphics. And Mark can come up with something quick. Even Ebony, you do the same with your clients when we have them on the show. I mean, that's just a nature. That's part of spreading the word, creating buzz. The biggest part of that is behind your images that you use, your imagery. So so for $200, I can go and get into, because we're thinking about people. We don't want people to get lost in the conversation who they're not necessarily thinking about being an entrepreneur. They don't want their own business. They're part of Cubicle Nation. That's where they want to be. But at the same time, make some extra money. And I found that a lot of times, and it's coming out of Cubicle Nation, I find that being in Cubicle Nation is a good place, a good source for customers, because especially like if you make cakes or you do part of the food industry, a lot of times you sell a lot at work.
Yeah, but you got to be careful about that too, because if you end up with some type of complaint about the cake not being good and somebody wanting their money back, you can end up in HR really quickly. So.
Exactly. And please don't use company shipping. Please don't use company supplies. Go get your own supplies. I mean, because that's a lot of times how people do get caught up. But there is great networking in it. A lot of times, especially a lot of the caterers, you'll find that they got started because they were doing the parties at work or parties for friends and things like that. So one of the things too, I think we overlook in business is referrals. Like right now, we're at the end of the year. I always go back. I like to do something what we call like cash back. Where people who refer business all year long to DryerBuzz. If anybody doesn't know, with any service that we do, we always offer 20%. Like you send me a referral, I'm going to give you 20%. I just believe in incentivizing what we do because I love referrals. I love loyalty. I notice a lot of businesses don't have a loyalty card. Like I go in and a lot of people say I'm not asking for a hookup. If I ask you if you have a loyalty card, that means I want to come back. Do you find, I find that too many businesses only want to make that one sale right then and there. We talked about relationship. When I bring on people who promote through us, and our goal is to turn our followers, our readers, into lifetime customers. I'm not sending somebody to you just for that one time. I want you to close a deal with them, have a relationship with them for a lifetime.
That's the kiss of death, a one-time deal. I mean, that tells you right there that person doesn't plan to be in business too long. Relationships are extremely, extremely important, and if you don't have repeat business and referrals, you will not last. You will
so
not.
How do we get, I think especially in Atlanta, like there's a lot of networking, but I never, and I'm going to use the word never here. People, they want your business card because they want to inundate your Facebook page. People love posting on my Facebook page, and I tell them, no, that's part of my business model. They want to blast you with the emails and stuff, but you never really hear people say, I want to make a referral. I might not need not one product in the room, but I might be able to refer somebody to you. And I don't find that people in networking in this city that they even want to establish that relationship. Because a lot of times when you go to the networking is not even the place where you should be selling, because everybody there might be in a similar type business, right?
You're right. And I think most people look at, they're very short focused. I get calls today from a year and a half ago when I met someone that I helped out, and they referred me to someone that referred me to someone else.
Wow.
And so referrals are very, very, very important. You know, whenever you meet somebody, you always have to think about the fact that this could potentially be a future client or someone that can refer you to someone else to be a client. And that's how most of my clients came to be, from referrals.
Okay. So now back to the 200. Okay. One way you said was the multi-level. How can a person take two? Let's go, instead of like a product, they don't want to sell a product, but they want it be a household name. They want to brand themselves. Speakers, people who want to go on the speaking circuit, people who just want to be they want to, I don't know, promote themselves in a sense. What could they do with $200?
Well, for one, I would say they would need to invest in some decent headshots. That's number one. Okay?
That's absolute. Look, photographers, go on my page right now because we're advising people. And I did that, and it's amazing too, because I did that at the beginning. This was my 12th year blogging, and the first thing I did coming into this year was I was like, okay, I need a photo shoot. And when I tell you, those pictures, because first thing people said, oh my God, I'm so glad you got new pictures, because I've been using the same picture forever. I had been hiding behind the mystique of a blogger. But once I did that photo shoot, and because everybody wants a headshot, everybody wants a bio, that's another thing too. Yes. And pay somebody to do that.
Pay someone to do it. You know, get rid of all the grammatical errors and the pictures with the cabinet in the background and
the bathroom.
All that. Yeah, and all that. The selfie shots.
Take $200 and get a photo shoot going. And I got some great photographers. Hey, more advice on what to do with $200 to change your 2015 when we come back with DryerBuzz on WAOK.
#HairSheBuzz. Get the buzz behind the buzz with Yolanda Lattimore with DryerBuzz on News and Talk 1380 WAOK.
Call us at 404-892-2703 on News and Talk 1380 WAOK.
Hi, this is saxophonist Stephen Charles. When I want to know what's buzzing in Atlanta, I listen to DryerBuzz on News and Talk 1380 WAOK.
Call us at 404-892-2703 on News and Talk 1380 WAOK.
All right, welcome back to DryerBuzz on WAOK. Got to shout out Voluptuous Inc., Coach, what is that? Coach J-Dub21, Russ Awareness. I'm signing some of these on Instagram. Money Nikki 26, and let's see, Bronx Beer Hall. Who is this? All About Legs LLC. Shout out to the real Georgia Me. She's supposed to have been up in here with us the week before we went to the tailgate. So we got to get her back on. Of course, Lion Lady Love is always listening and always sharing. Mark Perlite out of New York. That's my New York blogger friend. I got to get back to New York. I love New York. It's like if I could just live in New York and just fly in here for the show, or better yet, we got to figure out a way to do that. Well, the show is not like a drive into. The PR Council is listening. And let's see, The Exploder, Chloe Taylor Brown, everybody got a shout out. I always Pache PR. She's a cool PR person as well. Dr. Tart is sharing, and they're listening and checking out. Has he ever been one of your clients, Dr. Tart?
No, he has not, but I do know Dr. Tart. He's a great guy. Everybody
knows Dr. Tart. He's talking about creating a buzz. He definitely creates a buzz. The V-Ball lady, y'all, she's got some soap we all need to check out. The SBTV, let's see, and Rematch. Everybody is listening and enjoying the show, and you guys on Twitter and Facebook as well. Got a couple of chat rooms also listening, and we usually chat it up. And if you got questions or comments after the show, the conversation doesn't stop. Just use the hashtag DryerBuzz on WAOK, and I'm always live and interactive. Mostly on Facebook. It feeds over to Instagram and Twitter. And we were talking about literally like what are some of the things you can do with $200 like right now. $200 like right now. Of course, she said, of course, multi-level marketing opportunities are always out there. One way we first and foremost take that to whatever it is you want to do next year. Take that $200 and get you a good photo shoot. Now, a photo shoot works for yourself, but it also works for your product.
Sure does.
Because a lot of times people want me to blog about product, and a lot of times, pictures sell. I mean, they just absolutely do speak for you on Instagram, especially on social media, and especially on your website. I noticed one of the reasons when I got out of doing websites, a lot of times people like to use stock photos. It's like, no, just go call the photographer. I mean, and $200 is a good deal.
It is.
A great investment. Like I said at the beginning of the year, when I realized I was celebrating 12 years blogging, I was like, I owe myself a great photo shoot, and of course I went to it's at Photo Carla, a relationship I already had, a friendship. She used to take pictures for me for DryerBuzz and had been trying to get me in front of the camera for a while. And in doing that photo shoot, I then, everybody wants your bio and your pic. I had great pictures to send out, and that actually opened a lot of doors.
Yes, people take you more seriously then.
They do.
You become more legit.
You do. And I thought I had all the credibility in the world, but not until I wrote the book. And $200 in the publishing your own book can go a long way.
Sure can.
Once I did the photo shoot and I did great graphics on the book, because when you look at the first book cover and then graduating to the second book cover, I graduated from taking less than $200, going from the ebook. When I did it, it was out there a couple of years as an ebook, but once I finally took it to print, that gave me a whole nother level of credibility, and that was way less than $200, taking the first print and ordering books and so forth. Take $200, become a vendor.
Yes, a vendor is very, very important to get your product or get your services out. As much as you can get your face out there, do it is important. I think we also talked about sponsoring as much as possible. If you can sponsor different events and get your logo, that's another thing. Spend the money and get a decent logo. If your logo is not recognizable and people see it and they have to figure out what exactly is
it's too much going on, the colors,
or it looks like something that was created on Word. Let's try to invest in having a decent. So guys, it's a different day and time that we live in now. I mean, a lot of these kids that are in school now can do it with the blink of an eye.
But you know what? And I'll tell you this too. Like the flyer I did. Okay, let me ask you honest opinion. The flyer I did on us for the show, I did that with a $4.99 app. You know, I mean, and then because a lot of the apps, because I'm not a creative person, but give me a template. And there are a lot of template apps out there because, I don't have time all the time to go to my desktop. But a lot of times, especially like news breaking and I need to get something out there, nowadays you can't just put out a tweet. You got to go through Instagram, which means you got to have a eye-catching image that people are going to want to engage with. Because like you said, a lot of times they can look at it and it's too much going on, or it's too much for them to read, or if it doesn't speak volumes, just at a glance, you lose the engagement with that person. So I went out and I think, what app did I get? Let me see, what is it called? Poster. It's Poster. And I think I maybe spent somebody gave me an iTunes gift card. I hope I used it right. I don't know. But I bought it. A lot of times, even a lot of the free apps out there, if you just upgrade to the pro version, it gives you so many more features and it gives you a professional look and appeal to it. So what do you think about the website? Do I need to? Because I would do a makeover by now, but I haven't.
I think that your website looks good. I think that it's engaging, and I think it also represents you and your brand, DryerBuzz, the buzz, and all the stuff that's going on.
I did take a lot off the front page. I made it now. It's literally like a half a scroll now because the people mostly land on individual pages, but I noticed a lot of new traffic going now to the home page. So I took off a lot. A lot of people say, it's a lot. There's a lot out there, so I've taken
But with you being DryerBuzz, you have a lot of buzz of information.
Right, and we have to compete with newspapers.
Right. So I think that's very important. But, yeah, with $200, I say, the biggest thing, instead of trying to jump all the way to the flossiness at the end.
Oh, awesome.
Impress yourself by getting a decent first start. Your photo shoot, like we talked about, getting a decent bio, an EPK.
And a lot of times when you do the vendor spaces at different events, because even I went out and I was a vendor at one of the health fairs. That engagement, people coming up and asking me different questions, that put me, that let me know a direction I should take. Maybe I shouldn't do one of the things we did. We packaged the book in a gift basket. So we were actually selling the gift baskets, which was a great idea thanks to my daughter. But people come up to you and they have questions. You kind of almost like a focus group.
It lets you know
situation.
if your prices are too high.
They'll let you know that in a minute.
I mean, it lets you know. But what I will also say, too, is also be selective, though, on the events that you sponsor and the events that you do choose to be a vendor. Because, again, guys, when you're building your brand, your affiliation is everything. So if you start affiliating yourself with some brands that contradict what you believe in.
Right.
So make sure you research, because everybody in Atlanta is having events, and you may spend $200 and they have 10 people to show up.
Right.
So,
all right. So we got to keep the conversation going offline on social media. You're very engaged in social media. Tell everybody how to follow you.
Sure. On Instagram, you can find me at Glamorous1, and that's spelled GLAMRS1. My business is at EPI Media Group. You can also find me on Facebook under Ebony Porter-Ike, and that's IKE, or you can also find me under EPI Media Group on Facebook as well. I'm also on Twitter under EPI Media Group or under Glamorous1, GLAMRS1.
Okay, and right now she's buzzing in our timeline. And use the hashtag. If you have questions for her, hashtag DryerBuzz on WAOK. I think we'll take this conversation over to Instagram. And I want you guys to have a great week. And let me know how you are going to take $200 and some of the things that you're going to do for that $200. And let me just tell you, one of the things too, if you got questions about crowdfunding, is DryerBuzz is in the midst of a great crowdfunding campaign. We've been doing Friends GoFund Friends Fridays, where everybody's been contributing like $5, and it has made a major impact. As we know, we are building DryerBuzz, the app, to kick off for 2015. We've also got the directory that's going to be part of the app. So if you're a woman-owned business, we got a great special going on for you now. And I think I will have to get back into web design and so forth, because when the times are changing, when the climate is changing, and you want to be in business, you have to think about how you again fit in the supply chain. And sometimes we have to flip the script. Can't be stubborn with it, and you can't be having a year or two of losses. You got to make it do what it do. And hopefully we were able to help you do that today. Thanks so much for everybody that called in and supported the show as we were talking about the Ferguson and the die-ins and so forth. So thanks to Mary Packetcher for giving us a buzz behind the buzz. Thanks Fred, Spencer, Joseph, August, Love, Flavor King, and Dr. Johnson as well. Everybody have a wonderful week. The buzz doesn't stop. Meet me at DryerBuzz.com. You're listening to News and Talk 1380 WAOK.
News and Talk 1380 WAOK.
WAOK Atlanta. WVEE HD3. News and Talk 1380 WAOK. Breaking news, sports, weather.